Good afternoon. Many of you may recall the events that occurred on June 10th surrounding the vandalism of the Confederate monument located on Court Street and the life-threatening injuries that were sustained to an individual, Mr. Chris Green, as a result of felonious activities committed by numerous individuals that day and night. During this time of our nation's unrest, which was a direct result of the heinous death of Mr. George Floyd, countless monuments across our nation were being defaced by protesters. Many of those localities investigated the acts of destruction and subsequently charged the responsible parties well after the incidents were over. But what is important to note is that of all the incidents that occurred across our nation, our incident was the only incident that resulted in a man being gravely injured. So it is my hope that my community truly understands that at no point did any member of the Portsmouth Police Department condone the felonious acts that occurred on June 10th, which culminated in the life-altering injury of Mr. Chris Green. On the night of June 10th, as hundreds of individuals gathered and began destroying the monument, it was my decision as the Chief of Police for the immediate focus to be on the preservation of life, to include the safety of all my citizens in the area, ranging from ages of elementary school children to senior citizens, as well as the safety of my police officers. As the night's activities became a public safety hazard, we began to mobilize our resources to include assistance provided by surrounding jurisdictions to proceed in ending the unlawful event. Unfortunately, the grave injury of Mr. Chris Green expedited our entry into the area. The Portsmouth Police Department SWAT team immediately entered the scene and evacuated Mr. Chris Green to render life-saving medical treatment. As a result of Mr. Green's life-threatening injury from the activities of that evening, I asked the Virginia State Police to investigate the accident. During the State Police Department's active investigation of the injury, requests were made for state and federal assistance to conduct an independent investigation of all events and circumstances that led up to and including the significant injury sustained by Mr. Green. Understandably, these requests fell outside of the scope of investigation for those law enforcement entities. Furthermore, when a discussion with the Commonwealth Attorney regarding a special grand jury and special prosecutor did not yield any action, it was the duty of the Portsmouth Police Department to begin a thorough and comprehensive investigation into this incident. Since the conclusion of the State Police Department's accident investigation on July 22nd, a team of detectives and supervisors began to compile all written, video, and audio evidence surrounding the circumstances that led to the felonious destruction of the monument and ultimately the life-threatening injury to Mr. Green. As a result of the investigative team's findings, it was determined that several individuals conspired and organized to destroy the monument, as well as summons hundreds of people to join in the felonious acts, which not only resulted in hundreds of thousands of dollars in damage to the monument, but also permanent injury to an individual. As your Chief of Police, I take seriously my public and my officers' trust that I will ensure all the laws of the state and our Constitution are upheld, and that I would not place any citizen or officer in undue danger. You have placed faith and trust in me to take appropriate law enforcement actions when necessary. And today, I want to thank my citizens and my officers for having this unwavering trust and patience in me, which led us to completing this comprehensive investigation. As a result of our efforts in this matter, we have identified and secured arrest warrants of numerous individuals who conspired, organized, and participated in the felonious acts on June 10th. This investigation yielded the same results of holding individuals who commit crimes in our city accountable, but was done in a safe manner so that my officers and no other members of the public were harmed. Therefore, on today's date, felony warrants for conspiracy to commit a felony and felony injuring to a monument in excess of $1,000 have been obtained for the following individuals: Senator L. Louise Lucas, NAACP Representative James Boyd, NAACP Representative Louis Gibbs, NAACP Representative Lakeisha Hicks, School Board Member Lakeisha Atkinson, Kimberly Wimbush, Dana Worthington, Amira Bethia. Additionally, arrest warrants have been obtained for felony injuring to a monument in excess of $1,000 for the following individuals: Public Defender Brenda Spry, Public Defender Alexandra Stevens, Public Defender Meredith Kramer, Brandon Woodard, Hannah Renee Rivera, Raymond J. Brothers. I am asking for these persons with current arrest warrants to immediately turn themselves in to the Portsmouth Police Department. Detectives are still actively investigating this incident, and we are asking for the public's help in identifying several other individuals. A press release will follow shortly with photos of these individuals we are asking for the community's help in identifying, as well as a link for citizens to upload any video or photo evidence they have in this case. Again, I want to thank my citizens and my officers for their patience, professionalism, and trust, which has allowed us the ability to thoroughly investigate this matter. Thank you.